This is Kevin. I'm out on another walk. And there's Cynthia, usual walking buddy.
Hello.
But we are in West Marden.
Yes, we are.
We've driven in from Midhurst and never been here before, but lovely place. But we've started our walk right by this signpost and got Rowland's Castle, Compton, Lockhash, which is Lockhash Lane, which is across the road, which is over that way, and that's where we've got to go. And usually when you do these things, something always noisy comes along, and of course it's a typical noisy motorbike. But we've got these lovely willow trees just behind us, which is a rather nice setting on this crossroads. But we're on about a 4.5 mile walk today, or thereabouts, and we're going to hopefully find some interesting places and things to see. But when we get back, hopefully we'll have time to do a little bit more of a walk round West Marden, because there are some lovely cottages here. But we'll see how we get on. So we're going to press on. Cynthia and I have just come up a track which is over there at the back end of those buildings, and this farm, Lockhash Farm, is huge. There's a tractor over here now underneath the grain silo, which has just collected its load. Unfortunately, we arrived just as it was finishing. We've got these huge containers here which are liquid fertilisers, or for liquid fertilisers. But the buildings go down that way a long way. It's a huge farm. But when you walk around here, and I'll just walk down this way a little bit, you'll see what I mean by the crops, with the grain and that being collected. As far as the eye can see, you've got the fields full of probably spring barley or wheat. This field here is still growing just in front of us. But one thing I have noticed as we've been walking up, all of these fields have got this area between the fencing and the crops that's not got anything in. But on the far side here, I think it's sweet corn, because I noticed another farm, a field just now, had sweet corn on one side of it. But just here in front of me, you've got this piece that they made up as going to be a little bit of a hedge, and it looks to me as if that's a mixture of honeysuckle and hawthorn. It's definitely hawthorn and honeysuckle, but lovely. So far this is a lovely walk. We've had to walk up a couple of quite steep hills, which has made us puff a little bit. But then Cynthia, she loves walking up hills, so we're going to press on, see what else we can find. Hello, we're coming up to a piece here that's been cleared and a public footpath sign. But we are following some instructions and a map. But sometimes these things can be a little bit vague. We've just had to very carefully walk down that hill there, because the under your feet, it's gravel. It's almost like gravel. Let me show you here. This is actually not so bad, but it's very loose up there, because the farm machinery, we noticed that the vehicles are so big that the tyre marks are literally at the edge of the track. But just here in front of me is this lovely little hazel copse, and you've got some silver birch mixed in amongst it, and you've got an ash tree, and it's just lovely. It's just set between the track and the farm, the field, sorry, with the crops up there, and it's just charming. It's a lovely walk. So glad that Cynthia suggested this, because this is part, I think, of what they call the Octagon Way. And the Octagon Way in total is about 18 miles, but you can split it up into 3 or 4 mile walks or whatever you feel like doing. And you can, you know, if you want to do it, if you're on coming out and you're just going to do a 4 mile walk, but you feel you want to extend it, you can. And that's a lovely idea to be able to do that. So we're just heading along here now. And as I say, you've got a field just over here that's been partly cut. Oh no, probably it's actually all been cut. Let me just quickly wander up this way. Because again, this is showing us where they've had areas left around the perimeter of the field for wildlife, and I'm pretty sure that's what they've done. So you've got this area right on the corner here where they've let the grass grow, and you've got all these lovely little pink flowers, and I don't know what they are there, but as you can see, all the way around the outside of the field they've just let it grow wild, and as it goes up there is the same, which is lovely. So farmers do consider what's going on in wildlife more than perhaps what they used to, and that's great, because we need to encourage the wildlife to come back as much as possible. Just in this bit here, again, it's just on a corner of a road, but it's bound to be left wild. You've got some thistles there, huge thistle, and foxgloves, which are finished now. So we're heading up this way, and we've got to look for a field with a machine cut track or path through it, and then that's the way we've got to head. But there is a purpose to this walk, and we'll reveal that well, as usual. I've decided to take a slightly different route, and I've decided to come up in amongst all these lovely hazel trees, and we've got beech all around me, but it's just lovely. Just come off the main track, which is down to my left hand side, and you have got a footpath through here, which is probably just an animal track. Cynthia's down there away to my left hand side. You can see how these lovely trees, it's just lovely walking through here. This one's obviously had a bit of a mishap where it's completely split. But I'm just going to carry on wandering up through here, following this animal track, which is clearly what it is. It's not a proper footpath. Well, we've got to the destination that we were looking for, and that is St Michael's Church of Up Marden. We've been here once before, and it's a lovely church just set in the South Downs, and you're walking through this lovely little tunnel of trees, And it is a beautiful church, and all these lovely trees all around, but it's just an idyllic setting. It's very difficult to find this place, this church, because of where it's situated. Got these huge buttresses on the corner of the church all the way round. But the church, they said there were some early remains here that they thought had probably moved here, but the information that I've gathered is that it is all pretty much 13th century, but the tower, which is up there, and it's wood cladded around the top of it, around the sides of it. But inside, unfortunately, this church is locked up. But inside they've got wall art or wall paintings, virtually stemming right through from the 16th century. But I'm going to do a much longer film when the churches are all open properly. Some are open and some aren't. But as you can see, this is flint and rubble, and you've got the, as I say, the buttresses on the corner. They're different types of buttresses. That one there is rendered with stonework at the bottom, and this one is a huge buttress which goes up over halfway up the wall, and it's stepped up in different stages. And another one there, look, which is slightly different again, and you've got the leaded light window all the way up. But as you go up further, you've got the tile inserts there. But this is the view from the back of the church. Now, just where I'm standing at the back of the church here, right on the spot where I am, there used to be a bench seat. Came up here once before, a few years ago, and the bench was there, so you had lovely views right across the fields and across the downs. So I'm now coming around to the side of the church. Now you've got render on this bit, and that's pebble dashing, or in the Midlands up north of England, it's called stucco. But a friend of mine, Mark English, he loves a door, and there's a lovely door. That's an old door, that one, beautiful, absolutely lovely. You can find Mark English on YouTube with his own channels. Quite dark inside. You've got the chains hanging from the ceiling with the lights on. But again, you've got a mixture of rubble and obviously mostly flint. But it's a tile roof on all the church. But I'm guessing, and it is a real guess, that at some point this may have been a thatched roof, because it would suit the style of church and in the position where it is. But one other thing I'd like to show you, just down here, you've got these yew trees which have always been really planted or in this churchyards before a church is even built. So down around here, tucked away right in the middle of 4 large yew trees, is a crypt just there, right against the wall of the churchyard. But these are huge yew trees, probably 200 or 300 years old, 400 years old. but I'll just give you a view from the side here. Just here in front of me there's a very simple tiled roof porch into the church, and it's constructed with oak beams, but on the inside you can actually see the very much older beams where they've got their lovely wooden pegs holding the rafters coming down and across. But again, lovely door, and they clearly didn't want anybody to get into this one, the way it's all padlocked up. But this one's got rendering, some seating, rendering between the posts, as you can see, but they're much newer than the older timbers, and all the tiles as well. They've used the old traditional wood peg tiling, which is lovely to see, but absolutely super. Such a charming little porch. I'll just come back out and just show you one more look of that. We're just now leaving the church. We're heading down through again this lovely little corridor of trees, beech trees, just on the corner here. And isn't it a case, whenever you want to do something, there's someone cutting grass with a lawnmower or a motorbike, aeroplane. Anyway, we've got to head off down this way into this field, and we've got to go that way. So as you can see, this field has recently been cut and baled. We've got these lovely bales here, all ready to be transported to the farm. And I haven't got a clue what this structure is that's fenced off in the field. It's got a slate roof and it's got timber cladding all the way round it, weatherboarding it's called. I don't know what this is.
It's a well hut.
Oh, a well hut.
You can see inside the rope.
Oh,
Don't fall in.
let me see if I can go down here without falling in the well. See if I can get a shot through there. Wow, that's magnificent. Very, very old.
Apparently it was in use up till 1965, I think.
Oh, in use until 1965, Cynthia's just said. But it looks as though the ground's giving way to it underneath there. Well, we're back in, hang on, where are we? West Marden. And we're heading up this little lane here, past these willow trees, and we've got these lovely little cottages to our right. And you always get the friendly dog wants to chase you away. But we're heading up this way. This is where our car's parked, and we just thought we'd finish this walk off just as we go back to the car, because you've got these lovely cottages on our left.
They're tiny.
They're lovely little places. This one's called the Forge, and we can imagine why that's called that, but it's beautiful.
This one's called Jasper.
Jasper. But we did notice lovely fuchsias there, but we did notice earlier on that just up here there is some, or a thatched cottage. Going to my right here, I've got more flint cottages, but I've got to be very careful here because we're walking directly towards the sun, which doesn't help. I think Cynthia's just tripped over again.
Nearly fell in the manhole.
She does seem to have a knack of finding anything to trip over. A lovely place in there, in the old stables that's called. Beautiful place. But all the way along this road, you know, any of the walls that are here are flint built. I was just about to say that's our car, but that's not. Next one up, the little Ferrari, just there. But just up here, I'm not going to go too far up this lane now. I'll just stop here and show you those cottages up there with the lovely thatched roof, and I'll just wander back over this way. So we've come to the end of our walk for today. Very enjoyable. One or two wrong turns, but we still managed to find a way around, even though we walked through private property twice, and the first lot of private property we walked through must have been for about 3/4 of a mile to a mile. Naughty. Anyway, this will be Kevin and Cynthia saying bye bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye. Bye bye.